Hello everyone. Some time ago you may remember that I followed a tutorial that I saw on YouTube by Lou Collins, and it was just such a beautiful card. Couldn't resist, had to go, and I was delighted with you know, how I managed to do it, to be honest. Anyway, long story short, Lou and I seem to be watching each other's videos. And so she messaged me and said, how about if we both choose the same colour scheme, we both do a video, or should we say we each do a video, using that colour scheme to be published at the same time. Wouldn't it be interesting to see, you know, what we do, how it works out? The other proviso would be to use her range of craft products, which is Textures by Lou Collins. And to be honest, I had bought some of her products before I realised, when I was following that tutorial, that the two were one and the same. Anyway, that's what we did. This was the colour palette of choice, and so we're both going to work to this. I think this is going to be such fun, absolutely. So there's an extra thing for anybody watching too. Lou has got a set of textures from the snow range that she's going to give away to anyone, well, not to anyone, to someone who has commented on both her video and on my video. And I think it's going to be a random choice from the ones who've done that. So there might be something in it for you, who knows? Anyway, first thing I did when presented with this colour scheme was to just look through my stuff and see what I had got that would go with those things. And so first thing, I dug out some Distress Oxides. Be very interesting to see what colours Lou chooses, if she chooses Distress Oxides too. So these are what I chose, and I'll just show you. For that green there, I'm sorry a bit of it's missing, but it's just the way I printed it out. I've chosen Iced Spruce for that one. This one, I chose Evergreen Bough. This one, I chose Milled Lavender. Same sort of tone, a bit lighter, but there you go. This one, I chose Dusty Concord. And this one, I chose Uncharted Mariner. There. Then I looked to see what refills I've got, and these are Distress Inks, not Distress Oxides, and the only two I have, Ice Spruce and Milled Lavender. Don't know if I'd use those. I did get out a black soot, I don't know if I'll use that. Then I looked to see what alcohol inks I've got, and this was, I've got Monsoon, Eggplant, Moss, and Laguna. Isn't that wonderful? I also looked in my Luscious powders and I couldn't find much that went, but I thought that was quite a good match. And this one's called Green. I also looked out a bit of Twinkle. Don't know if I'll use that. I've got a bit more glitter here. Don't know if I'll use that. I also got some silver Gilding Flakes, some silver Gilding Wax. I mixed up a new pot of my homemade embossing paste, and kind of that's as far as I got, really. And I thought I would use mainly this set of Lou's, which is Wildflowers. Her stuff is so popular on Craft Stash, a lot of it is selling out. So, you know, I do hope that if you spot something that you like, if they have sold out, that it'll be restocked soon. So I've got some of these stamps already on blocks here. I've got the birds there. I have got those numbers on this one. This one actually is from another set of Lou's, which I think is fab. It's this one here. Lovely French postcard and a Frenchy with a bit of music-y in the back. Lovely. So that's that one that I've got there. So my proposition is to just kind of get going really and see where we get to. I have got this is the biggest square card I make, because I make all my cards from sheets of A4. So this is about a 6-inch square. It's 150, yeah, it's about 6 inches and 150 mil. So that's that. Put that on one side. This I cut with one of my press cut square dies. These are lovely dies, huge set, very close in size. So I cut the smaller one. This is in watercolor paper, and the next one up is just regular cardstock, the same as that, and I tend to use that as a mount for that. Whether I will do isn't another matter, but that's what I'm thinking. So that's the mount that goes with the card. This is a piece of scrap, because what I thought I would do is use another one of Lou's products, and that is this. She does this Magnolia leaf halftone. The stamps are they're made of tiny little dots, and so the bigger dots make a deeper colour. But I don't want to use those. I want to use just the die, this one, and I want to do something else with that. So in preparation, I have cut a couple just from white card, and these are for the bottom layers, just to give it a bit more strength. I want to do sort of a fancy top layer and see where we go. So I think I can see some bits in here that might need poking out. Let me just get rid of these bits, because I'm not going to cut so well the next time round if I've got bits left in my die. Is it all out? Looks like it. Okay. So what I propose to do, this is another piece of the same card as the base, which is a textured card, and I don't want the textured side for this process that I'm going to do first, because I want to make one of these. This is going to be my main embellishment on my card. So if you see that there like that, I have a fancy for this coming sort of like this, overlapping that panel slightly, maybe raised from the surface a bit, I don't know, and some bits and bobs and gizmos and stuff underneath. So we'll see how we go. Right, put my paper away. I'm just going to start doing what I want to do, and for that I want to use my Luscious powder and my silver gilding flakes. That's what I want to start with. So what I'm going to do is this. I've got a Nouveau glue pen. It's a fat one. And I'm going to put some glue on here. There's going to be enough to get that die cut from it. So I need a big enough area of glue. And then you'll see, I think some people may have seen this technique. I don't know, I think whether I invented it or not, I might have done, I don't know. It's just something I kind of like to do. And it's use some gilding flakes with Luscious powder as well. Okay. I think I'm pretty well covered there. I've got some all over the surface. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is to put a few gilding flakes over the surface of this glue. Now this is Indigoblu's silver gilding flakes as well. They call them mega flakes. This whole bunch is stuck together. Lovely. Right, let's have some of this. I kind of got into a bit of messing around with mixed media when I went on the Indigoblu retreat. Oh, look at this. Talk about mega. Whoa. Good gracious me. Look at it. Sheets and sheets of it. Good Lord. Whoa. Look at this. You always finish up with more than you started with Gilding Flakes. See if I can get them back in the box. Okay, that'll do. Right, try and get it off my fingers, off the end of the tweezers. Look, it's more than I started with. Whoops. There we go. Now I just want to tamp these, just tamp them down just a little bit. I don't want to spread them around too much yet because I want to use my Luscious powder to fill in some of the gaps between the Gilding Flakes. So the whole thing is going to be kind of green and silver. Okay, here's my Luscious powder. I just need a soft brush. This is a Perfect Pearls brush. I'm going to put it on all over. Luscious powders need something to hang on to make colour onto a piece of card. So it would need some Versamark ink, or like in this case glue, or maybe some water. You can mix it with water to use like a paint, in fact. So here we go. Just make sure it's covered, gone into all the gaps where the Gilding Flakes aren't. Okay, put the lid back on this, and now I'm just going to burnish this. Look at that, isn't that lovely? There we go. Beautiful. Now, I think I better have a bit of a clear up. I'll just give this a swish. There we go. Put it on one side whilst I clear up this lot. There we go. Love Luscious powders, absolutely love them. So sort of twinkly, beautiful. Right, got that in the bin, I think. Now, I want to die cut this next, but because I've used glue on here, I don't want it to stick in my die cutting machine, so I'm just going to use my anti-static tool and just go over it, and this will ensure that if there's any places where there's a little bit of glue still evident, it will seal it off, sort of thing. Okay. Now, the reason I have chosen to use the wrong side of the textured card rather than the right side is because I'm not sure of the angle that I will be placing this leaf onto the front panel, and I'm a bit funny about if there is a texture which is a definite horizontal and vertical, I don't like it to go on a bit skew-iff. It's either got to be like this or sort of 45 degrees, but not somewhere in between. So I thought if I use the plain side, it won't matter where I put it. It'll be fine. So I'm just going to cut this out. Right, here we are. I no longer have space on my desk for my cutting machine anymore because this mat's too big. Right. Now, not quite finished with this yet. I decided I wanted to play with the colour a little bit more. I'll put that on my magnet at the back there. So I'll just get rid of the little bits from the leaves. Oh, it's a tiny bit there. There we go. wipe my fingers a bit more. Now, I want to do a bit of smooshing. Smooshing is where you put a bit of colour onto a mat or a board or whatever. Put some, whatever it is you're going to smoosh into it. As simple as that, really. So, what I thought I would do is, I've got a little mat here. I think I will try a little evergreen bough, just a little. First of all, let's put a drop of water. Nearly sprayed myself again. Now that's going to be too pale. I don't want something a bit deeper than that. Okay, wipe that off. Let's try some Uncharted Mariner. Right, little water. Okay, we're getting there. Now I think I'd like a little bit of, what have I got there? Let's try just a little bit of black. I'll put a drop of water in that as well. Okay. I'll leave that to dry. Oops. Right. Now, may do something else with that. May do a bit of printing on it or something like that. Can't get this off the desk. There we go. Now what I want to do is to start working on my background. So here I've got my watercolour square, and I'm going to do, first of all, adding just a few bits of colour to it. So onto my paletty bit of plastic, I think I will start with some iced spruce. Iced spruce, let's use that one. Drop of water. Just a little. I'm going to put some water onto my watercolour paper as well here to start with. Okay. I'm always a bit heavy-handed with this kind of stuff. Right. Just need to take a little of that away. I love how when it's with water, these oxides just go into totally, you know, different colours. You can see all the constituent colours that make up the final one. You can see grey, blue, green, yellow, all sorts in there. Fabulous. Right, there's a bit of ice spruce. Now I think I'll try a bit of milled lavender. Drop of milled lavender. Put a bit of this onto it. Tend to get lines rather than that's fine. Okay, milled lavender, and what shall we do? A bit of evergreen bough, maybe. Let's try a little evergreen bough. Don't know if I'm going to like it. We'll see. I'm just going to whoosh this around a little bit so that it's not so straight lined, if you know what I mean. Okay, that's all right. I think I'm going to leave that at the moment for that. I'll just dry that off with my heat tool. There we go. Heating it from underneath seems to flatten it out quite a bit too, which is a great help. Right, now then, I need to put some interest onto this. So I'm going to use, I think I'll use my ice spruce for these numbers. These are the ones I'm going to use here, these, just a whole bunch of numbers. And, get them the right way up. I fancy them going sort of, and coming down this way a bit. We'll see how we go. I don't know, can we see? Move up a bit. Keep forgetting to look. Oh, just the other day I got a great load of my hair in the picture. I was trying to see where I was doing something or other, and all I could see was my hair. Not very tidy either, by the look of it. Come in a bit. There we go. Right, that'll do for that. Give that a quick wipe. Just a little, just you know, keep it clean-ish. Right. Now, I've got these birds. Let me do these birds. Fancy the birds in some Uncharted Mariner. Let's have a look at these. How do I fancy these? About like that, I think. There we go. Right. And now we'll try the postcard. Do the postcard down the bottom, I think. Same colour. Okay. See, this is what I fancy. This is going to kind of do this kind of thing. Now, when I see that there with that colour underneath, looks like I need a bit of contrast. I need something different there, don't I? I need something different. Maybe the Dusty Concord? Something a bit darker just to set that off. I hadn't thought about that being the same colour. Let's give it a little swoosh again like we did before. Got a bit much on there. Okay. Okay. A bit better. Yes, it does show up a bit better, doesn't it? Okay. Now, I'll dry that off again because what I fancy doing is putting some of my embossing paste on this. I'm just going to dry that off that bit of watercolour. Okay, now let's wipe off my little piece of mat. I'm going to use this. This is another one of Lou's stencils, and it's just alphabet letters. So I fancy this to go just kind of here and there. So here's my embossing paste. I do have a video of the recipe for this, so but this is fresh from this morning, hot from the presses. That's a bit much. I found that commercial stencils are better for embossing paste than homemade ones because they're thicker, so you kind of get a thicker layer of embossing paste than you would if you were just using a homemade one. Let's put a bit on here. Whoops. Bit of a mistake there. Okay. That's okay. Now, let's wipe these things off, otherwise I'll be in trouble later. I'd give them a proper wash later, but just wipe off the majority. If you don't have water in your craft room, I would suggest that you have a bowl of water that you can just drop things like stencils or tools or whatever that have got pastes or glimmers or whatever they are on. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do, I think, while that's just drying a moment, I thought I'd like to have some these sort of inspirational words, the fly, the love, and the hope on there as well. So I've put them into my stamp platform, and I'm going to do those in Uncharted Mariner as well. So these may take a few stampings to get them nice and solid. We'll see. Oh, it's not bad for first go. They're a bit like Dymo, you know, the label maker things. They're a bit like that. The style of the font. Just do a bit more in the middle of the fly. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Right, so we can cut these out. There we go. I think I need to dry this off first, quickly. It'd be very interesting to see, you know, what Lou does with these colours, with her stuff. I don't know what set she's going to use. But I think it's such fun. It really is such fun. Right, I'm going to cut those out. I'll use my fairly long bladed scissors for this. Just want a tiny white edge to these, and I'll probably pop these up onto foam tape. There's the love. Here's the fly. Perhaps have the word fly up near those birds. Let's see. I'm not an exponent, not a real exponent of mixed media, but I do enjoy it. I just find it interesting to put stuff into juxtaposition with each other, you know, to see what looks nice where. And the overall effect of still something cleanish is a bit of a challenge, but it's one I enjoy. Right, there's my words. Let's just have a look and see how we're doing here. Now, I think I need a bit more blue, maybe, perhaps not. What if I'd need a bit more blue on that? What I'm going to do is to stick this onto this one, and it won't be so sort of floppy. We'll see how we get. What's the best way to do this? I think I ought to try and get a zig broader tipped glue pen. This one seems to give me more manoeuvrability to get things aligned than the Nouveau one. The Nouveau one, if it sort of touches, it tends to stick where it's touched, whereas the zig gives me just a little while longer to, you know, to get it exactly aligned on top of each other. I stuck these two together with the Nouveau, so I thought I would try with this one for the top layer. See how we go. And there's some people don't like the noise of this pen. I hadn't actually noticed it until somebody mentioned it, and then on the video, you know, you can hear it. It really makes quite a scratchy noise. Right, let's see. This has still got a bit of wet ink on it, I think, from the black soot. Let's see. See if I can get it aligned. My fingers are filthy. Right. Might play with this a bit more for colour. Not absolutely happy with it yet. But it's a lovely die. Cut out beautifully. Just thought I wanted to play with a bit of colour today with this. I think I would like a bit more blue on it. There we go. Right. Oh, look at that. That's not straight there, that little bit. Let's get you sorted. It's better. Right, I'm going to do a little shading of the edges of this with some iced spruce. This just, to me, just defines the edge slightly. But I have to confess I've learned such a lot from Lou. I'm probably old enough to be a granny, actually, but, you know, you're never too old to learn, are you? the day when you think you stop learning is the day you curl up. Okay, here we go. And fly. Love. Now, I think I will do, this is for the next, I want to try and colour this next one just a bit darker, so I'm going to use direct to the, okay. Probably should have done it on the edge of this board, but you wouldn't be able to see it then, so I'm doing it and getting in a mess. But I just want you to see that I'm using direct to card. You get a much stronger colour, obviously, if you do it directly, not than if you use a brush or whatever. Right. Is that enough? Yeah, I think so. Right. Let's just wipe this up. There we go. I think when you have to decide where your card is going to on how thick you make your layers, how deep you make your layers, because if you pop foam tape onto here and then that's something on the front is foam tape, it's getting kind of thick and it won't go through, well, British anyway, we have to go through a certain thickness to get the cheapest mail. Right, just going to, is that all dry now? Yep, going to stick this onto its mount. I don't know if I've put on everything I thought I could put on, but we will see, we will see. Right, pop this onto here. See, there's a definite difference between the colour that I used to just shade the edges here and the colour that I've got onto the mount. There we go. May need to put this on something heavy and flat just to make sure it's flattened down. Okay. Now, I just want to modify the colour of this just a tad. And I think I'm going to do that with a bit of this Distress Oxide. A bit more of this one. This is the main sort of colour of my whole design, really, is the... Oh, I think that might do. Wipe that away and dry that off. leave that to dry for a little bit longer, because what I think I'm going to do is put a little bit of silver gilding wax on the edges of these. I still don't know if I like that enough, actually. I think I might need a bit more blue in it. We'll see what it's like when it's dry. Right, just a little gilding wax in here. Don't mind if it smudges a little bit, you know, if it goes a bit splodgy, but just to give it a little link into the other bit of silver. Maybe I should have done some silver on the edge. Perhaps do some silver on the edge of that one. Let's see. And the last one. Yeah, put some in here. Nearly done. A bit longer than I normally do, I must confess. Then I have trouble uploading them. Okay, a bit on here. It's a different silver, of course, from the silver of the Gilding Flakes. Now, I might have to wait a moment for that to dry before I try and attach it, because I think I'm going to put some double-sided foam tape on there just to raise it. You'll see. Let's have a look. Yes, I think I will raise that a bit and then put these on foam tape as well. Find some. Here it is. I'm just going to place this and then I will stick it all down. There we go. I'll stick it all down and then show you the finished article. So don't forget, look at Lou's video, leave a comment here, and you'll be in with a chance of winning one of her textures, this textured snow set. So as ever, thank you so much for watching.